on.
Yes, it's warm.
Roy, would you mind turning that fan on behind you, please, mate? Thank you.
You've got an extractor there.
Yeah, we've got that one on, but that one.
It's not moving.
It's moving very fast. Put your finger in it. Thank you. What should we do?
Lee,
Should we
can
run
we
away?
creep out?
Okay.
Creep out the back door.
Funny, wouldn't it? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So wonderful to see so many of you here supporting not only this church and the people, the wonderful demonstrators that we have coming here, but also on your journey exploring this religion, philosophy, or understanding of spiritualism. So all strength to your elbow. Thank you for sharing this time. And as I always remind you, these problem? Sorry, there's something going on in the cheap seats over there. As I always remind you, these services are made up by your presence. You haven't come here to see an act, a performance. Today is this amalgamation of all your beautiful, wonderful energies combining to create that atmosphere through which our wonderful demonstrators can work and share and imbue these thoughts of spiritualism. Whether you take them is up to you, entirely up to you. All we do is present the evidence. It's a little bit like a court case. We present the evidence.
And he'd know all about that.
And told you not to mention that. Or should I say them? Anyway, you get the drift. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Big welcome too to those wonderful people watching us online wherever you are in the world. And for those of you new to us here at Paul, the camera is only on the platform here. So if you're here with somebody you shouldn't be with, a little bit like a Coldplay concert, don't worry. Oopsie. Your secret is safe with us. Anyway, great delight to welcome not only an absolutely top-notch demonstrator, an ardent worker for the spirit world and the philosophy, but also an amazing friend as well, the wonderful Reverend Elaine Bevan. Elaine, welcome, welcome. Just a quick reminder, please, mobile phones, we can just have them off during the service. It's only an hour long. You can be out of contact with the real world for an hour and imbue yourself in the contact with the other world. Elaine, my darling, if I could invite you for the opening blessing. Thank you.
I'll throttle him later. I was thinking as he was rambling on, painting a picture, we have an old saying, go with the flow. My view is when I get older flow, I'm going to throttle her, quite frankly. But he's right. You bring the energy. You bring the enthusiasm, the inquiring minds. And that's what we need in order for the other world to reach and touch us individually and collectively. So for a moment or two, can we just bring our thoughts together, open our hearts, but more importantly, open our minds. Divine and creative force that we call God. As we come together, we know that this world is in great need of your awareness, your intelligence, your healing and compassion. And we ask that it may experience that through the purpose each one of us has chosen to fulfill. Allow us to be the sound of your voice, to be the touch of your hand, but above all, to be part of your infinite intelligence. In the time we spend together, let all barriers disappear. Let us move forward with a clearer vision of where we have to go. We know there is much work still to do, but we face it with hope, we face it with clarity, and above all, we face it with your love. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Elaine. And now, if you care to, please join in with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And leave us not when in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. Thank you. And we now move into that energy, that thought, that very intent for healing. Please remember that spiritualism isn't a one-trick pony. Spiritualism is not all about the evidential message. Spiritualism imbues healing. It imbues philosophy, imbues compassion and understanding on so many levels. And in and through this act of this combined healing in which we are about to enter, trust and know that the energy, that the thoughts that you put out in service to others are heard, are received, and are acted upon. They may not manifest in the way that we would desire, but they will manifest nonetheless. So we invite you during this part of the service to send out your love, because love is healing and healing is love. It is really that simple. Send that love out to wherever, whoever, whatever you may choose. Let your heart decide that path. We also invite you during this part of the service, if there is anybody in particular that you know of at this time who is in need of that mention, that voice vibration to harmonize the unity and collective energy in which we are building even now, just simply raise your hand. And when I point to you, call out their name, because that voice vibration links in. You are the healer, never forget that. In whatever shape, size, guise or form this takes, be it by thought, by word, by deed. When you act in love, when you act in compassion, you are acting as a healer. And when you are acting as a healer, you are the emissary for the other world, to bring forward that strength. So never underestimate your own power. As each and every one of you stand here testimony today to the lives that you have lived, to all the challenges you've overcome, to all the joy, to all the heartache, to the sorrow, to the wonderment. And today that culmination is you here in this energy. Isn't that beautiful? So please enjoy this time of healing, of being able to express your love. For that is all that is required. Thank you. Divine and gracious Spirit, that whom we call God, we thank you for this time and this reminder that we are here to help one another, to uplift one another, and to share unconditionally our love, our support, and our healing for all those that we know and meet and know of within this world. Amen. Now I'd like to invite Elaine. Do you have a reading?
Yes.
Yes, for her reading, followed by her address. Thank you.
I've been prompted to go back to a good old-fashioned book written in 1938, and it's called Red Cloud Speaks, and it's through the mediumship of Estelle Roberts, who was a famous medium, one of the many tested mediums, and was also tested following the repeal of the Witchcraft Act to show what mediumship was to the judges and the legal counsel. And Red Cloud is her guide. He always speaks when she's entranced. She has no memory or understanding of what he says. He presents to most people's mindset as a Native American Indian, but it is known that he wasn't that. That was how he presented himself for the comfort of his medium, and that he came from one of the higher dimensions. No one knows how high, and no one knows much about him as an energy field. And the bit I want to share with you is a couple of paragraphs from the chapter entitled, "Where is Spiritualism Leading You?" I am going to explain where spiritualism is leading you. My reply is from the world of spirit, and I think those who live there are the ones to answer the critics. I speak in all humility, in all love, and in a desire to serve. First of all, I would like to ask you why you call it spiritualism. 2,000 years ago, it was known as Christianity. 4,000 years ago, it was known as the natural law. Why you have named it spiritualism, I do not know. I would like to remind those who ask, where is this great truth leading you, that every soul has free will. That is one of the truths that we have come to tell you. Having free will in your thinking, neither I nor any clergyman nor any dogma or creed has the right to dictate to you what you should believe. You have free will. I would point out that one of the oldest teachings given to you was, "The truth shall set you free." The first thing that we are going to teach you is that you have free will to think for yourself. That is what spiritualism will lead you to understand. Not that you should believe me or anyone else, but that you should use your minds to think for yourselves. You and you alone will reap what you sow. Whether good or bad, it is for you to decide. You have free will. One of the truths that we are going to teach you from my world is that you can have all the prayers said for you for hours and hours and hours. But it won't help you one whit in my world unless you help yourselves. We have particularly noticed that one of the teachings you have received is concerned with incessant prayers for your soul. I want you to go back 2,000 years. I want you to remember that what was taught then is no different from what we are teaching you today. What a man sows, he shall reap. We hear that nothing uplifting, but only gibberish comes from the world of spirit. I tell you that the great Oversoul is sending down to this earth of yours many masters who can teach you life, teach you how to find your Christianity, teach you how to understand your masters, teach you how to believe in all holy books. I would like to answer the criticism that only evil spirits return. I wonder if you who are seeking the truth ever think as you look back, they persecuted him and the prophets, that 2,000 years ago your world called him who was the law of love, service and sacrifice, the prince of devils. History repeats itself, and we hear the same cry, only evil spirits return. This great truth is going to awaken man to his responsibilities. Your world needs to awaken to that which it has excluded, the Spirit of God. What is the first thing that spiritualism, as you term it, will lead you to? Personal responsibility and free will. What else is it going to do? Well, for one thing, it is going to combine men and women of all religions, dogmas, creeds, races and colours in one great brotherhood of humanity. It has been Red Cloud's joy since working through this physical instrument, see gathered in his midst all types of men and women of all nations, creeds and dogmas, brought up under different masters with different understandings, yet they have all come together, united in the greater revelation of truth which it brings to them. One of the things I find as I look around your earth world, I am sorry to say this, is that the brotherhood of man is often practiced more by those who have no dogmas and creeds than amongst those who live by dogmas and creeds. I never condemn, but I must point out what I have seen. Where is spiritualism going to lead you? Is it going to lead you through the spheres, or is it going to take you down into hell? I am going to answer that question very frankly. You have free will. You have personal responsibility. If you want to go into the lower states of existence, you will go. Neither I nor any dogma or creed can put you there. This great truth, which you are learning slowly but surely, makes you, to the extent of your own soul's awakening, accept so much responsibility that you know where you are going. Hence, it lifts you up, because you know that which a man sows, he shall reap. Therefore, not by fear will it lead, but by fact, to these states where you must penetrate after the stage we call death. Want me to go on?
Yeah, please.
It's a long time since I read Red Cloud. It's one of the early books, as is Silver Birch and White Feather and all the others, that in spiritualism we read, and then we move on to the more modern things, the more scientific things. But sometimes it pays us to go back and revisit what was said in 1938. Red Cloud also speaks of his involvement in preparing the earth for the First and Second World Wars. And he talks about coming from a very high dimension. He doesn't identify what. He talks about how that already interpenetrates the world we live in, and how for them to reach out and touch us, they have to slow down their vibratory energy, so it becomes more dense, more like our physical world. That sounds very complicated, doesn't it? But I bet everyone here today looks back over their life and remembers people that they were really thickly friendly with and couldn't be without them, at some point in their life, until you started to grow, until you started to change. And suddenly that brashness, that energy, that selfishness, that ego jarred with your vibration. And you needed to move yourself sideways. Not that you didn't love them, they were a friend. Not that you wished them any harm, but you suddenly saw your path was going in a different direction. And that's something that happens to all of us who choose to awaken our minds, our consciousness, our spirit, to the finer vibrations, to these dimensions which the scientists now talk about, but we don't see them until we alter our state. All of you will have had, to some degree, an experience where you sensed something that you couldn't explain, or you saw or heard something that didn't make sense, but you knew another infinite energy had touched you for a moment. Sometimes it's on a very practical level. I always remember the night my daughter was born, big strapping mum and grandmother herself now. And I remember waking up next to this cot in the hospital and looking at this new energy, which now was putting its trust in me to help it move forward in its life. Was I scared? Absolutely. Was I excited? Definitely. And when I look back, because she's now 42, I think, did I do enough to help that soul move forward? Had I explained enough about where I'm coming from, what my understanding is? And like all of us, I have the areas of my life I'm not so happy about. I was a working mum when she was very young and did 12-hour shifts, and, you know, I was lucky if I got Saturday or Sunday to take her for a walk down the park. And that's a very sad reflection for most of us. We have regrets in our life because we get caught up in this physicality. We think this is the reality. This is not the reality. That's very hard to understand when you're sitting here on a Sunday morning wondering whether you'll get a chance to get a cup of coffee, or is Lawrence going to be mean and chuck you all out at 12 o'clock on the dot? Because all we're thinking is, where do I go next? What do I do next? Who do I see next? To be still in the moment, to open yourselves to this other interpenetrating range of dimensions, not just the astral world, where our loved ones are, but the higher energies, the energies that oversee the collective cosmos, the universe, the multiverse, the planets, the stars. And I remember dear Paul Jacobs telling me many, many years ago at one of his classes at Arthur Findlay College, never forget you are made of the same stuff as the stars. And I thought about that, and it really sort of took hold of my consciousness. It made me realise that this reality is too small. And as Red Cloud points out, so one style of thinking might be too small, too narrow, too contained. Laurie and I debate long and hard about religion, and I use it in its broadest context, any religion. Is that too narrow a field for us now? Is there still so much more out there that the divine intelligence, this infinite being, wants us to experience? And will we actually bother doing anything about it? Or will we go through life gathering stuff? Us women love to shop, don't we? I just spent 3 weeks in America with my daughter and my sister, and I was working my socks off and they were shopping every single day. They had to both buy extra cases to come home. And what's the betting? Within 6 months, half that stuff's going to be at the local charity shop. Why are we filling our lives with stuff, with noise, with people who don't gel with us? And I'm not suggesting we should be selfish and uncaring, What I'm saying is, look deeper, look further, look harder at what this world is. We talked about the political situation across the world. And it's a very difficult position to be in, because anyone who supports one side is implying they must be right. Unfortunately, in that sort of argument, it means someone else must be wrong. The problem is, we cannot live according to any one way of thinking. If the God force, the divine particle, is so intelligent, do you honestly believe it narrows its focus to one creed, one dogma, one religion? Like Red Cloud says, in every faith, in every holy book, there will be a truth. And part of our responsibility is to find that truth for ourselves, not to take it from someone who tells you they know better. It's all right, spirit of warning you. But that's an interesting point. How often do we miss those subtle signals when the greater intelligence is saying, I'm here. Are you listening? Are you there? Are you too busy wondering what I'm going to get for lunch, where I'm going to take the kids, what my husband's going to bring home for my birthday present? How we fill our minds with such trivia. I know we have to live this physical life, but we mustn't miss out on the greater understanding that's still waiting for us. So ask yourself, every second of every day, where is spiritualism going to take me? Thank you for listening, friends.
Absolutely wonderful. You talk about the little, when you did that, last week I was sat there doing that. So I just thought, yep. So we now move on to our piece of music for the day. Please join in with the words, or just read the words, because there's always symbolism and meaning there. During this time, Paul will be taking the collection for the further work of this your church. That's cracking.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your ability. You're capable of anything. You can achieve any dream. Please don't limit yourself. Don't live your life limited. It's not all sadness and misery. Life's a challenge, but you will succeed. Take control of how you feel in every circumstance. Work on yourself daily. Your story's far from done. The best is yet to come. To achieve, you must believe. You can live out all your dreams. Persevere, you'll make it through. What you need is all in you. When you believe, you will achieve. You can live out all your dreams. It's about time you knew the truth. You got the power all in you. Whoa, whoa. far from done. The best is yet to come. To achieve, you must believe. You can live out all your dreams. Persevere, you'll make it through. What you need is all in you. When you believe, you will achieve. You can live out all your dreams. It's about time you knew the truth. You got the power all in you. To achieve, you must believe. You can live out all your dreams. Persevere, you'll make it through. What you need is all in you. When you believe, you will achieve. You can live out all your dreams. It's about time you knew the truth. You got the power all in you.
Theme running through today. Rather nice. Just said to Elaine, there seems to be a theme running through today, which is rather wonderful when everything just combines naturally. So we now come to that part of the service where we demonstrate our evidential mediumship. Again, we enforce the word evidential. There is evidence contained with the information that is shared. The conclusion is yours to make and yours to make alone. We require you to be part of this process. So when Elaine, if Elaine should come to you, please respond with a nice clear yes, no, or I'm not sure. So it's a
Yes, no, I'm not sure.
wonderful. Please try and resist the urge to backfill the information. All right, just take that connection. It's up to the wonderful Elaine and her remarkable abilities and her utmost confidence in herself. Elaine, my darling, the floor is yours.
I'm going to throttle you.
Yeah, I know.
Low flow, I'm after
You
you.
can't do it up here because we're on camera. I have evidence.
True. Can I say, if I get things wrong, it's my misinterpretation. The spirit world aren't stupid. I am. They're not. So bear with me. Can I come to the lady in the blue-grey jumper? You're looking right at me. No, that's it. You. May I speak to you, please? Thank you. There's a lady stood behind you on the left-hand side of your body, which is mother's side of the family for me, but I will be misdirected, but bear with me. I don't trust the sat-nav either. As this lady's connecting with me, I need to say that the quizzical look you're giving me now, she shares. You could almost read her mind at times because she'd be looking at you as if to say, really? That's your point of view? I have to say she was very intelligent. I don't say that with any suggestion that she was overly qualified, but she had a natural intelligence. She was fascinated by people, by the way they lived their lives. She was also very forgiving of the mistakes they'd make, because you could almost hear her thinking, there but for the grace of God go I. Do you understand that? And so there was a big heart in this lady, and I feel that she has left quite a hole on the earth plane. Does that make sense to you? I know, though, she's very close to you because you sense her quite a lot of the time, don't you? And you can almost hear her voice running through your head when you go to do something and she goes, I wouldn't do that. And it's, thank you, I can hear her laughing at me now. She said, yeah, who says when we die we go away? Can't get rid of us. I know, too, she's been watching your own spiritual progression. Because if I say to you 5 years back, there was periods of your physical and material life that were very uncomfortable for you. And over the subsequent 5 years, she's showing me you've had to widen and broaden your perspective of what's good, what's bad, and what you need. Do you understand that? And she's watched you moving into, I want to say, a teaching mode. Does this make sense to you? Yeah. Thank you. And I don't mean run out and get your PhD in biology. I'm saying you are teaching by example a lot of what you now understand. And that's been very exciting for you, she tells me, because she's laughing now. She says, you wait till you start on the dimensions. And that will really blow your mind. Because she's saying we limit our understanding of spirit's intelligence by our own lack of intelligence. And you've been pushing that door gently open for a while now. And I know that you experience a lot of psychic phenomena around you when you do that, because she's showing me. Thank you. She's laughing. She said, you no longer worry about things that go bump in the night, do you? No, you just accept, okay, guys, I'm paying attention. What is it you want to say? But you've also been, you're reaching that point where you're being pushed out of your comfort zone now. And you're having to look, like the dimensional issue, at things that have a broader context and things that perhaps within structured organisations we don't teach. It's all very much self-learning. Do you understand that? Thank you. She's just brought in a black and white cat. Would you know who had a black and white cat? And I want to go back to when you'd have been about 11, 12, 13, because she just shows me that age. So I don't feel it's yours. I feel it's a neighbour.
Yeah.
Okay, because she laughed at me. She said, tomcat. We won't go into what else she said about tomcats.
No.
But I don't feel she wished it any harm, but she wished it lived somewhere else. Do you understand that?
No, very right.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I'm just watching her change the energy to your father's side of the family. And it's almost like she went, well, what do I say? Would you understand that?
What can you say?
And that's not a judgment.
No.
It's I don't find the words, she said, to describe the mindset. Can I put it that way to you?
Yeah.
However, she had a great deal of empathy for the limited understanding that they had. And she's just saying, I wish they realised how much they missed. Does that make sense? Yeah, I wish they realised how much they missed. Now, she's taken me to April as if it would have some sort of connotation, but, oh, good. And now, I'm not good on flowers, darling. She's shown me a crocus. When do crocuses come out? Is it January? February.
They're her favourite flower.
Okay. I have to get them to still teach me things. I'm useless. I don't do gardening. Okay. But she's showing me now, we don't predict, but they're showing what energy is available to you through free will, that over the next 6 months, it's as if your growth spiritually picks up pace, and you're going to be really pushed out your comfort zone, okay? Not just within this sort of setting, but I almost, thank you, I see that now. She put a small packed case next to you. It's not a big one, like 3 weeks in America. It's a smaller one. So I feel there's travelling involved with your growth, okay? And don't be frightened, she said, because we're with you every step of the way, okay? God bless you. Thank you for working with me. I'm really sorry, Tony. I know I've got to come to 2 mediums in the audience. I'm sorry about this, but I just do as I'm told. I have a lady standing on mum's side of the family, and I feel I want to go to grandmother's generation. And if I say to you, you and her could be 2 peas in the pod mentally, would you understand that?
Yeah.
Thank you. She laughed at me. She said, just say it as it is, love. Just say it as it is. There was no beating about the bush with this lady. She's like me, built for comfort rather than the speed. And she's just touching her hair. I think she liked a nice set now and then. Would you understand it? Not that she was vain, please don't know, but she liked to look just right for any event. I know she laughs at your lifestyle because she said, you never know if you're hopping on a bus, train or plane and where you're going to be 5 minutes later. She said, your life is spent doing this all the time. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And she said, you actually see your spiritual work as a rest and a relief from the chaos that life throws at you. Do you understand that feeling? But she said, it's taught you one thing, how much we can reach other people just through the everyday activities of living. Yes, I do see that. She's talking to me about the next generation down from you on the earth plane, and she said you've allowed yourself to be a child again and have fun with them. Yeah, because she said you grew up almost being too mature for your age. And she said now you can kick your heels up and do what you want to do with them. And I don't know if you do a lot of parks and things. I don't mean little parks, you know, like big centre parks, Disney parks, all those sort of things, because she's showing me lots of that energy around you. Would you understand it? Good, okay. I know too that this lady, she had quite an inquiring mind about why people chose the things they chose in life. And I do feel that you're a little bit like that. You don't judge them again, but it's as if you say, I can't quite see how they got to that point and that decision. You sort of open your mind to their perspective. And I know she says that the issue of perspective and spiritual growth has been something that's been growing in you and your understanding. Because she's laughing at me now. She said, tell him what you say. When you're looking at a red light face on, it's easy to know you can't go forward. But if you're in a side street, you have to wait for that light to change. And she said, your life's been like that recently. You don't know if you're still stood at the stop point or if you've now shifted your perspective. Do you understand this? And you're hearing more clairaudiently, aren't you? Yeah, because she's showing me the energy around your ears. And she said, we don't have to yell at you anymore to get your attention. She said, you hear those little whispers now coming in through your energy field. Okay. You've also had a new influence coming in spiritually, because she's showing me a changing energy around you, standing mid-centre of your aura, which for me is always where the guides come in. And I know you've recognised this in some of your addresses. It's almost like you lost thought. Where was I? What did I just say? So the energy is shifting when you're doing your philosophy now. I'm not going to try and bring the guide in because that's not evidential, but know that that's an energy that's been coming in closer over the last 3 to 6 months. And you felt the shift in how your mediumship works. And it's she's just laughing at me and him because we've had this conversation. When it shifts, it's really uncomfortable, isn't it? We get very used to one particular methodology, and she's saying, ha, 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 you're just going to have to take it. Now, the month of November just suddenly flew over your head, please. And you must know where there was a connection with engineering. Someone who's now in the spirit world would have been involved in engineering, please. Thank you. All right. She's just taking me to water now. I'm struggling here because I don't know if I'm looking at Royal Navy or what's the other one? Yeah, but there's also the ones that supply the Royal Navy. What is it? Royal Fleet Auxiliary, is it called? So she's just taken me to those navy blue energies. You must know someone who is connected with one of those 3 fields. Because she's also showing me an industrial setting where the ships would berth right up to the dock. So there must be a memory of that somewhere in your mindset, please. Okay. And just before she leaves you, she's taking me out into the countryside. And this was one thing I know that this lady felt at ease in. It's almost like her connection with her God was through the natural world. Do you understand that? Yeah. And she's laughing now because I thought of being a Buddhist once till I realised I couldn't kill any sentient beings. And I draw the line at spiders, I'm sorry. And she was the same. She said, you know, I can love all sorts of things as long as they stay in their world and don't invade mine. So very nice lady, lovely sense of humour, and just enjoy the change that she's bringing forwards for you. Okay, God bless you. So I'm really sorry, Roy. Sorry, Spirit warned me that when I got up here that I'd have to talk to these mediums. You know, it's not a setup, I promise you. Most mediums would give anything not to talk to another medium. Thank you very much. There's a gentleman connecting with you, coming in on Dad's side of the family. If I said you and him are a bit like peas in the pod, would you understand the build, the facial energy, the need to speak very frankly at times? Would you understand a gentleman on your father's side like that? I think, to be perfectly honest, he may have had an inch or 2 in height on you. I could be wrong, but I feel just that slightly bit taller. Thank you. He's the sort that said he'd call a spade or something shovel. Would you understand that? Very straight man, though. You never had to worry about where you stood with him because he told you straight to your face. He was a man of quite powerful ethics too. Would you understand that? And I know that we talk of ethics very glibly these days, but he had his own personal ethics and he wouldn't shift from them for love nor money. Okay? I felt that instilled in you a great sense of right and wrong from quite a young age, as he's showing me that energy. And there were times when it was tested, particularly during your teens and 20s. Would you understand that?
Yes.
But I know that at some point he's saying to me, Spirit got you by the scruff of the neck and said, you ain't going anywhere, sunshine. Because he said it was either work for spirit or we're going to knock in the door. Do you understand that? I know he's saying that with a great deal of affection as well as love, because he said we couldn't have you wasting your energy. All right? And I know that as he says that to you, you've been aware, particularly over the last 12 to 18 months, that your energies have shifted again. We're going through a massive shift in energy, massive shift. And you've done what he and I do, argued with spirit no end. Do I have to? What now? Where are you taking me? And they said, none of your business, you just do as you're told. But this man is so close to you, he wants you to know that whatever they put you, wherever they put you, he is with you. He said, I never left you in childhood, I never left you in adulthood, I'm not leaving you now in eternity. Now, I don't know your work, do I, Roy?
No.
I think I've seen you once before, but only as a member of the audience. But what he's talking to me about is the fact that the spirit world is shifting back into physical phenomena big time. And he's talking to me about materializations, okay? And I know you've already felt that building in your solar plexus because he's showing me the energy field there. And that's given you a little bit of physical discomfort. Would you understand that? And he said, we're working on the physical discomfort because we've got to get that energy balanced for you. Yes, I see that, sir. He says there's already two energies around you that they are your guardians when you're doing this work. Now, I don't know who they are, but it's two people on the earth plane that already sit with you on some level, because he's put them like guardian angels either side of you. And he's saying to you, you can trust them with your life. That's easy for you to say. But he said you can trust them with your life because the spirit are controlling them. Now, you've also got, oh, that's an interesting energy. You've got 3 spirit guides around you, because they're taking 3 different roles. I'm getting direct voice, I'm getting materialization, and apports. So, you know, I'm sorry, but looks like they've got an awful lot of work in store for you, sunshine.
Thanks.
But, all right, he's just nodding. But you know all this. I don't know why I'm giving you this message, because you have known all this, because you've argued with them, haven't you?
All the time.
Because he's saying, when do I have a normal life, you're asking them. No, you don't have a normal life. You have an abnormal life, because that's what it's meant to be. Something special, something different, something challenging. Yes, I see you. He's letting a little lady come in now, and she's like me, vertically challenged. I'm only 4'9", and I want to say she's much trimmer than me. She said, say it as it is, dear, I'm wiry. So, you know, you would actually see her wiry forearms, so there wasn't an ounce of fat on her. She was another outspoken individual. I feel this is a blood link for you. And quite critical of people who messed up their lives or made a mess of situations. You know, she wouldn't judge them, but she'd just say, go and take a long walk off a short pier, dear, because she felt they hadn't exercised the consciousness they had. Yes, I do. I won't forget, darling. She said, and talk to him about the consciousness. It's an area you've already been looking in, they're telling me. And you've had some pretty strange experiences because, you know, the spirit world are intelligent, guys. I'm sorry, whether she knew this or not in life, she's saying you've had non-linear time experiences that have made you stop and think, what the heck just happened then? Do you understand this?
Yes, definitely do.
Yeah, because she's saying we have to show you how we bend the energy of your physical world to achieve what we need to do. Yeah, you've also done astral travelling, she's showing me.
In the past.
Yeah, you just don't remember it, Flower, because she's saying, I'll tell you what she's showing me. She's actually showing me the Middle East at the moment, and in your sleep state they're using your healing energy. Okay, so if you come to, she's quite funny, you know. She said, if you come to and you hear the sounds of kamikaze rifles, she said, don't worry, you're quite safe. She said, it's just we've brought your clairaudience back with you. She's joking because, not because she doesn't care, but she doesn't want you to be afraid of the next steps, okay? So go for it and know that you're serving that which you agreed to. This isn't new. This is a commitment that you made a long, long time ago. And watch for the blue lights. I did see that, darling, because there's tiny blue lights pulsating around you. And I know that when they want your attention and you're not paying attention, the blue lights will start to appear to say, wake up, we need you to do something. Okay. Who was the... no, we don't call them that. Who was the train enthusiast? She said train spotter, but I know where she was going. Who was the enthusiast for trains, please?
Oh, I really can't answer that, but there's that feeling is inside.
Yeah, because I'm going back to when you would have been... All right, I'm using her words now, please. A snotty-nosed, dirty-kneed schoolboy
That
of
sounds like me.
yeah, about 7, 8, 9, and you're watching the steam trains going past, but there was someone who was the train enthusiast. So I know it is taking you way back to that age period, please. And I don't feel it was another child. I feel this was an older being, if not a young adult, in that sort of range. So you'd have been 7, 8, 9, but I'm looking for someone 1920s, okay? All right, where are we going with that? She said it's all right. She said, I just wanted to show him how life advances, whether you wanted to or not. So sit back, buckle up, she said, and enjoy the ride. God bless you, sweetheart. Thank you for working with me. Can I come to my friend in the flowered shirt? May I speak to you? Thank you very much. Okay. I've got 2 gentlemen coming in together. These are not relatives, I know that. I feel these are people you knew either through some sort of educational background, because I want to say they're your generation, all right? And I've got one who passed traumatically through some sort of accident, and one who passed through his own stupidity, he said. So 2 young men who tragically passed quite young. All right, in you come. I'm going to go with the guy with the accident. I feel we're looking at a vehicle accident, bad weather, wet weather he's talking to me about. And I feel he actually rode a motorbike rather than a car. It wasn't a car, it was a motorbike. I feel he was no more than 18 or 19 when he passed. And thank you. He said, it's all right, you can call me that. He was a bit of a Jack the Lad, he's telling me.
Yeah.
He liked parties, riotous parties particularly. And he said, and I like the ladies. So I know he was a bit of a character. But he's got a wonderful twinkle in his eye. He never had a bad word to say about anyone. He had a big heart, this guy, okay? Now his other colleague is just catching my attention. All right, sweetheart. I know that some sort of drugs were involved. I wouldn't like to say what, because I don't know very much about drugs unless they're prescribed for you. All right. I'll be really frank. I can't see a syringe or needle, so I feel it's oral, okay? I know he was very clever, this young man. He'd have made good Oxford material, I've got to say. Very bright, very intelligent. But he couldn't find his path in life, he's telling me. He sort of wandered backwards and forwards. And he wasn't really into the party scene either. It just didn't feel right for him. And in fact, he said, I really didn't feel I belonged in this world. He said, and I was glad when I left it. But I know he looks over you, because I feel his thoughts sometimes are intrusive. Because he's just saying to me, sometimes you look at someone and you think, why are you that low? Why are you that depressed? And he lets you feel his thoughts, and you think, wow, that's so powerful, that's overwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that, darling, I do understand that. He just took me back to one of the services I did in America. A lady came up to hug me afterwards, and she had just had her breast removed. She still had all the drains and everything in. And without thinking, she hugged me, and it was such a physical shock to pick up that energy. And this is what he does to you. He wants you to feel the desperation that some people feel at times, because he said, then you can be the hand that does this.
Right.
Come here. Let me hug you. Let me hold your hand. Tell me what's wrong. He's quite emotional now, because he's saying we rush through life too busy to look out for each other. He said, and it's got to change.
Right.
It's got to change. A moment of quiet support, a moment of instant relief from their own pain is all that the Spirit will ask from you. You're still writing a lot. They're both telling me you scribble furiously, don't you? And both of them are saying you need to start compiling it, otherwise you're going to have a big bill when you publish it all. So I feel they're saying get your house in order with your writing. But another one, I'm sorry.
Been really evident this week. Get on with it. Get on with it.
Yeah. Spirit world want the work done. Thank you. They both just said there was an old saying, going to hell in a handbasket. He said we're going to stop that. Okay, God bless you, darling. Thank you for working with me. Can I come to you, sweetheart?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, you are like your mother, aren't you?
I hope not.
Your face, spitting image, she just appeared behind you, and I looked at the shape of your face, the bone structure, and I just knew that this was a blood relative and she had to be very close to you. I feel this lady probably didn't have a very good sense of humour. Can I say that to you? She was a bit old-fashioned of her age. And I know that she was very hot on protocol, respect, all the things that generation were. But she wanted you to grow up respectful to your... she said olders and betters, but that's not what we say today. She wanted you to pay the right respect to people. So she ensured that you understood. Did she have false teeth by any chance? Because I'm struggling with my words at the moment. Can you remember?
Her teeth?
Yeah, did she have a plate?
She did in the end.
Yeah, because I keep getting teeth that aren't mine in my mouth. All right. Okay. Yes, right, they're clean. Thank you. Yeah, she said she was quite, not hard on you, but quite firm in respect, because she wanted you to be accepted by the people. And as she shows me your youth, there wasn't always happiness. Do you understand that?
You understand that?
Yeah, because I almost feel at times you felt as if you didn't belong anywhere. You couldn't find your slot, your niche. And that, believe it or not, that saddened her, because for all her firmness, she loved you very deeply. She just never got round to telling you that, did she? Dreadful, absolutely dreadful, because she sees now her errors. She sees now how if she just reached out, she'd touched you more, hugged you more, how your life would have been so much easier for you. Do you understand that?
Not a lot, no.
You turned into almost the opposite of her. She tells me you enjoy nothing more than hugging people.
I get on well with people.
Yes, you do. And you're making up for everything she couldn't do for you. Do you understand that?
Not really, sometimes.
Can I touch her? Is that
Yeah.
all right if I leave the platform?
Not violently, obviously.
No. I want to take your hand, because she's saying you have learnt the value of that physical touch. You've understood that sometimes people are so distraught, so alone, that they need to feel another human being's contact. Do you understand me?
She didn't accept.
No, not her. You do this. You do this. That's what she's saying to you.
No, I feel so,
Yeah, but you share that happiness, that balance, that fairness with people in your life. You don't think you're doing anything wonderful, but she wants you to know you're making a connection with another soul. And sometimes that soul needs much more than you ever realise for someone to reach out and touch them. So she asks for your forgiveness. She asks for your forgiveness, okay? Because she should have done it for you. But she knows you do it for everybody else. Yeah, but she loves you, darling. She loves you, okay? Please try and hold that in your heart, okay? God bless you. Thank you for working with me. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's fine.
The old lady coming. Can I just say I'm being called to time by upstairs, not by our chairman, so I'm sorry I didn't get round more of you, but you have added the energy that allows these communications to occur. So thank you very much for being here and being part of the experiment. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. That was beautiful. Just a few notices for this week. Tomorrow evening we have our healing evening. If you'd like to come to the church to receive healing from our church registered healers, we'd ask that you're here for 7:15, please. Those sat within the healing circle, if you're here for 6:45, that would be wonderful. On Wednesday night we see week 2 of the psychic course, which is running now for the next 6 weeks. And next Sunday we have Robin Hodson with us. Robin is the president of the International Spiritualist Federation, He's currently out in America holding a seminar week out there, and when he returns he's coming to us at Poole. So on Saturday we have an introduction to the altered states, to the trance energy. So anybody wishing to explore that side of their mediumship or just explore it from the beginner, more than welcome. It's running from 10 till 4. There is a cost of £45. That includes a luncheon served, plus obviously access to Robin's teachings and knowledge. And then Robin's staying with us for the weekend, so he'll be taking the service next Sunday. All that remains is me to ask you for the closing blessing. Thank you, my dear.
Can we come together once more, dear friends? Divine Spirit, we thank you for the time, the energy, and the companionship we have shared this morning. Each of us knows that you have a divine purpose in place for us, and we willingly and gladly move down that path, asking that your light, your love, and your strength follows us day by day, and we are allowed to move it through into the lives of those we meet. We ask to a blessing on all such understandings. May they move forward in your light and bring about a greater awareness of the spiritual truths of this world. Amen.
Amen. Elaine, thank you so much.
you.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you everybody for attending today. I love the hot weather, but I have actually loved the rain today as well, because it's just that little bit fresher, isn't it? It's just like that, oh, I can breathe again, how wonderful. Whatever the weather, you know, enjoy life. The message of spiritualism is about living. It's not about the dead. It's about living this life and getting the most from it. So do that. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
That's cracking.
Thank you. Didn't get round to many at the end.
That's all right. That's all right. That's what you need to see. We've got 5 ladies here who have got places on the JD Trust feed.
How lovely.
Mariella, don't run away. I'm just going to get them up here. Just give them some sage advice. We're offline, so that's all right. 2 seconds.